Let's dive right in, shall we? We've got a really interesting match coming up on December 30th. Chelsea versus Ipswich Town. And, you sent us a ton of articles on this, so clearly you're fascinated by it, and I got to say, I am too.
Yeah, it's a real David and Goliath situation, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. On paper, at least. I mean, you've got Chelsea, they're right up there pushing for a top 4 spot. And then, well, you've got Ipswich fighting to stay out of relegation. Still haven't managed a home win in the league this season. It's going to be quite the clash. Oh, and by the way, we're mainly getting our info from this piece here, pasted text. It's got all the juicy pre-match details.
Yeah, and what really jumps out is how both these teams are coming in off a bit of a rough patch.
Yeah, true that.
See, Chelsea, they're 4th, right? 35 points. No bad at all. But they had that goalless draw with Everton, and then boom, their first loss in the league since October. To Fulham, no less.
Ouch, yeah.
Yeah.
And Ipswich.
Well, they're down in 19th. Just 12 points, which puts them 3 points from safety. And their form, let's just say it's even worse than Chelsea's. 5 losses out of their last 6 games.
Yikes, including, if I'm remembering correctly, a pretty recent loss to Arsenal.
Right. Not exactly the kind of momentum you want going into a game against, well, Chelsea.
So question here. Is this just a little blip for Chelsea? Or is there something, I don't know, more concerning about their recent form? Like something deeper?
It's tricky to say. I mean, they've been pretty consistent overall this season. So, yeah, this could just be a temporary dip. But there's this thing in the Pasta text, right? It mentions Enzo Maresca, Chelsea's manager. He might be thinking about rotating his squad.
Interesting.
Which, well, to me, that hints that maybe he's trying to, address some, underlying issues.
Right. It's like he's thinking, okay, maybe this is a chance to give some key players a bit of a break. Rest up against, well, a team like Ipswich.
Exactly. And for Ipswich, it's like every single match from here on out is a must-win. They need points desperately if they even want a shot at staying up.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's talk about some of the players. The guys who could actually make a difference in this match. The pasted text thing, it points to Cole Palmer as someone to watch on Chelsea's side. Now, I know he's a young attacking midfielder, got tons of potential, but what makes him such a threat to Ipswich specifically?
So this pasted text, it mentions Ipswich's left back has been, well, a bit of a weak link this season.
Ah, you see.
Prone to getting caught out of position, struggles against those players who love to cut inside. And guess what? That plays right into Palmer's strengths. The guy's got pace, trickery, the whole package to exploit that weakness.
So it's not just about Palmer's talent, it's how his style matches up against Ipswich's, shall we say, vulnerabilities.
That's a really good point. What about Ipswich, though? Any potential game changers on their side? It's true, the pasted text doesn't go too deep on individual Ipswich players. But there's this interesting bit about their new signing, a midfielder named Cameron Humphreys. Seems he's been, injecting some much-needed energy, creativity into their midfield.
Okay, I like that.
So, if he can disrupt Chelsea's flow, who knows? Could be a real difference maker.
All right, so we've got Palmer possibly wreaking havoc on Ipswich's defense, and Humphreys maybe throwing a wrench in Chelsea's attack. Things are getting interesting. What about the managers, though? What kind of tactical approach do you think Maresca might take with Chelsea?
Well, I reckon we'll see Chelsea trying to control the tempo, dominate possession. They need a convincing win, right, to bounce back. And Maresca's probably going to feel a strong lineup, even if he does rotate a bit. But remember what we said before, he's got to be wary of Ipswich hitting them on the counter, especially with someone like Humphreys in midfield.
Yeah, like controlled aggression. Right?
Exactly.
And what about Kieran McKenna, Ipswich's manager? He's still got the club's backing, even though they're struggling. What's he going to do against a team like Chelsea?
I suspect we'll see him setting up his team to be very compact defensively. Frustrate Chelsea, limit their space, classic underdog stuff. He'll be hoping to catch them on the break, maybe a quick counter or, capitalize on a set piece.
Classic underdog, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, the pasted text thing, it predicts a 2-0 win for Chelsea. Did you agree with that?
I get it. I do. I mean, Chelsea, they've got the quality, the experience to win comfortably, no doubt. But, well, football's football, right?
Right.
A team with nothing to lose, sometimes they can be dangerous. If Ipswich can defend well and, take their chances, who knows? It could get really interesting.
Right. A draw, even.
Maybe even a surprise Ipswich win. I wouldn't completely rule it out.
That's what I like to hear. Not counting Ipswich out entirely. That's what makes these matches so exciting, that possibility of an upset. Although, and this is the bummer, this match won't be on live TV in the UK.
Ah, too bad.
But you can catch the highlights, right? Match of the day too. So for those of us watching the highlights, what should we be looking for? to really understand how it went down.
Watch how Chelsea use the width of the pitch. Can they stretch Ipswich's defense, create those one-on-one opportunities, especially for someone like Palmer? And then, on the flip side, watch Ipswich's midfielders, especially Humphreys. Can they handle Chelsea's pressure? Can they break up those attacks and maybe create some chances of their own?
Great points. So much to consider, even if we can't see the match live. Okay, so we've got this really intriguing matchup, a top team trying to get their groove back, an underdog fighting for their lives, and a couple of players who could completely change the game. Can't wait to see how it all plays out.
Here's something to think about. Win or lose, could a strong performance against Chelsea be a turning point for Ipswich? Could it give them, the belief, the momentum to turn their season around?
That's a fantastic question. Sometimes a moral victory can be just as important as an actual win. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. It's been a pleasure breaking down this match with you.
Pleasure is all mine.